So the third topic is, we have been offering or talking a lot about bringing people here, but our people want to go places. So we're super happy because Sun Country will be offering their flights to Cancun for the third time for 3 years. 3 years ago or 2 years ago, Sun Country decided to bet some plane time into the Rio Grande Valley to fly to Cancun. They do this from 5 cities in Texas. Sun Country is an airline based in Minneapolis. They base planes in Cancun and they send them to Texas, to Dallas, to Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and to Harlingen. And so 3 or 2 years ago, they bet on us and it worked very well. Last year, they did it again and it worked very well. And because it did very well, because our public responded, the flights were full, 90% full were those flights. They're going to repeat the same program this coming summer, starting in the last week of May, all the way through August, flying twice a week to Cancun here from Harlingen. And so we're super excited about that. That means that we have done our job by filling up those seats and by filling them up with a good fare. And so Sun Country will be doing that again this next year. And so we are super excited about that. If it is successful this coming year, it's going to give us more ammunition, if you will, to keep working on more destinations from the Rio Grande Valley to different places.
Different places in Mexico.
Different places in Mexico, different destinations for people of the Rio Grande Valley to go.
And you said earlier you've got to give a good price for the airline so they make money, but we've also got to think of the people of the valley. They want a reasonable price. They don't want expensive rates to go to Cancun. You can come up with a happy medium there.
I think that we can, because Sun Country, remember, is a low-cost carrier, so they are very good at offering excellent pricing for the people of the Rio Grande Valley that are looking for a good price option for their summers. Considering that it is an international flight too, so it is still a trans-border flight. But yeah, Sun Country Airline is a low-cost carrier, the same way that Southwest is a low-cost carrier. And every time you have a flight on either one of these carriers, you know that you are able to find lower fares than traditional carriers. I'll give you an example, and this perhaps is a fourth set of news. Because we have Southwest here in Valley International, Southwest is good at offering connections beyond their 3 destinations, Dallas, that we just talked, Austin and Houston. From each of these 3 places, they do sell connections, and those connections are still on a low-cost carrier. Because of that, we're able to offer low-cost pricing to more than 100 destinations out of Harlingen, because Southwest is the only low-cost carrier that offers low cost on the local, non-stop, but on the connections too. Overall, Valley International is 30% cheaper on the average fare. Our average fare is 30% cheaper than McAllen average fare based on Department of Transportation statistics. And we are practically 40% cheaper than Brownsville. So pretty much, if you fly from Harlingen, your family is 4, 3 pay, 1 is for free. You could say it that way. If it is compared to Brownsville, it's even worse. 40% savings on average, and this is statistically speaking. I cannot guarantee that every time you look for your price for a flight, you are going to be cheaper. But I can guarantee you that based on Department of Transportation numbers, by year-end, second quarter 2023, we are 30% cheaper than McAllen, 40% cheaper than Brownsville. And so chances are that if you want to travel and you want to travel cheap or more economical, you will find better fares out of Harlingen than the other 2 airports. And so going back to what I was telling you before, when you have Southwest, when you have Sun Country, chances are that you're going to be able to get fares cheaper on those carriers, locally or to connecting itineraries, but also the rest of the industry will have to match, at least at some level, the pricing of these low-cost carriers. And so even American and United will be cheaper out of Harlingen than out of the other airports, because they have to match Southwest, and some country pricing. And so that is item number 4. We, for many years, have been the most economical option when it comes to flying out of the Rio Grande Valley, and this continued to be the case in the latest release of the Department of Transportation statistics, covering all the way to the second quarter 2023, I'm sorry.
Does Marv Esterly, your boss here, does he realize how good a salesman you are?
I hope he does when we had to give me a new salary, my reviews.
But no, look at this, the way you're pitching this and selling, this is the airport to come to, you know, the price, the connectivity. Every time I connect with you, you know, you've got more information, new flights, talking about new seasons, and you come up with this information that, you know, on average, flights out of this airport are, you know, better value, cheaper than other airports. I mean, you sell it so well, Nico.
I mean, it is easy when you are able to, you know, first we have very good support from the community. We have an excellent board. We have excellent leadership with Marv and others. Most importantly, we are able to establish such good partnerships around the Rio Grande Valley. As I was telling you earlier, we couldn't fill up the planes if it wasn't for the support of South Padre Island. They have been terrific partners, especially when we got so much extra capacity from 3 different airlines. It was successful last year. It's going to be even more successful this year. It's all because of our partnerships. Again, it's not only South Padre Island. It's the city of Harlingen. It's the city of San Benito. It's the city of Los Fresnos. It's the city of Edinburgh. All the cities, all the communities here in the Rio Grande Valley have been very, very supportive of our efforts. And because of that, we're able to offer the community the best possible service at the best possible fare on a responsible way, because everything we do, we don't subsidize, and we don't have any tax contribution, not from Harlingen, not from Cameron County, and certainly not from the federal government. So everything that we are able to offer out of here is at 0 cost for the taxpayer, and that is also important to know. But you know, at the end of the day, the community has supported us a lot, and so that goes back to the community with more service to them.
Do you think enough people in the valley are aware of all this?
They will after this piece of interview. After this interview, I think so. But then, because of where we are, I'm looking outside the windows, and we have item number 5 to talk to. If you want to,
please, yes.
You have a little bit of time.
Part 5.
And so right now, the airport is going. You know, we have been able to put together a project for making our main runway. I think it is 15 to 20% longer. So we are making the runway longer. The project has started already and should be done by the end of March. By that point, we will have the longest runway south of San Antonio. And that comes with 2 extra gifts, which are the highest, most precision-based landing aids on both sides of the runway. So what that means is that once this project is finished, we will have the most precise landing aids for bad weather for aircraft to land, even when it is raining like it is today. And so at that point, we'll have landing aids that San Antonio doesn't have, and nobody else has south of Austin, truly. Austin is the only airport that has that, up to Austin. So south of Austin, we will be the only airport that has this kind of landing aids. What does it mean? It means that when there is bad weather here, it will have to be real bad for planes not to be able to land. So reliability of flights leaving out of Harlingen will be way higher than other regional airports. But second, that also means that flights going to those regional airports won't have to divert back to Dallas, Houston, or wherever they're coming from. They will be able to land here. So because of that, airlines also will start to offer a little bit more resources to this station versus other stations in the region, because they will realize that they will become the alternative airport for other airports in the region on both sides of the border to land once, if weather is bad, which we happen to have very often here in the Rio Grande Valley. The other huge benefit that this is going to have is that it's going to allow cargo planes to land here fully loaded. So far, here in Bali International, we have 2 cargo airlines, and they land on, they send wide-body airplanes, so these are like the big planes, you know, the ones that you use to fly to Europe or to South America, wide-body, they're super wide, they're very good for cargo. But because of the length of our runway and the length of the other runways truly in the Rio Grande Valley, sometimes they don't fly fully loaded. The extension of the new runway is such that will guarantee for all the FedEx wide-body airplanes to land fully loaded here in Bali International. And so once that is possible, we will become the de facto center of cargo transportation in the Rio Grande Valley. And we're super excited about that too.
What's your time frame for that extension?
We are expecting it to have it done, if weather is good, between February or March 2024. So 4 or 5 more months.
So let's say we had a very extreme weather situation and the planes could not land, either cargo or passengers couldn't land in other airports in the valley. They could come here.
If the operational departments of those airlines plans for that, yeah, and they will, because the alternative is to go back to where they came from. So you probably have had this experience, or somebody in some of the writers, some of the readers have this experience. Viewers, some of the viewers have this experience. Sometimes the pilot is trying to land, it's bad weather, and they send you back to Dallas or Houston. The landing gates are going to be so precise, they are the most precise in the industry right now, that they will be able to land here. Chances are, 99% of the chances are that they will be able to land here versus other airports. And they're going to be able to do it in both sides. It doesn't matter where the wind is blowing. If this direction is not good, they will be able to do it from the other side. That being said, if you know, when you go back, you know, it's like you don't get the passengers to their final destination, you don't get the cargo, it's a wasted day. So what's going to happen now is for flights coming here, the ones that are scheduled to land in Harlingen as usual, 99% of the chances they will land here. Now it is up to the airlines, and it's likely to happen, that instead of having the alternative airport for landing, Dallas or Austin or San Antonio, they will have Harlingen as the alternative, because Harlingen has the equipment to handle it. And so it is up to each airline, but chances are that airlines with stations in other airports in the region will use Harlingen as an alternative instead of sending the flight back to Dallas. And when that happens, well, that will be a huge improvement for the people.
So you're going to get, I mean, you would imagine that's the purpose of doing it, but you extend that runway, you're just going to get more business here.
Yes.
That's a given.
That's a given. That will happen, especially on the cargo side. The commercial side, the runways that we have 3 runways right here in Bali International. The main one right now is closed because it's been maintained. We have another 2. That's unique in the Rio Grande Valley. The other cargo will be able to land fully loaded in the main runway. Cargo is landing in the secondary runways that we have with a little bit of a restriction, but they're still able to do it. And commercial service is already using that, so that's not a problem. What we are going to be able to do, as I said, is to have cargo operations fully loaded, number 1. And number 2, we should expect other kind of traffic, maybe corporate traffic, maybe government traffic, to be able to take full advantage of a longer runway down here in the valley instead of San Antonio or somewhere else.
How much is that extended runway costing?
That's a phenomenal question that I don't have, but I will give you a number later.
Okay. Well,
I think it is 30 million, but I don't remember.
Sorry?
I think it is 30 million, but I will confirm that.
Fair enough.
We'll ask Marv right now.
See, yeah. So those are all the questions I had, Nico. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
No, you know, I'm super happy and appreciative that you are covering us. We always have good news. We always have something new going on. It has been a very busy year for us, not only on new routes, but also, you know, amenities, covered parking, the new lounge. We have 4 restaurants working right now in the whole station. We have 2 full bars in operation in the station for passengers to take advantage of. We have the new airlines, we have the new service. And so we just appreciate you for covering this, for sharing all this news with your people. And more important than that, we do appreciate everybody in the Rio Grande Valley, not only people from Harlingen, but all the way from South Padre Island, Brownsville, all the way to Mission and beyond, for supporting us. And the more you support us, the more we will be able to responsibly offer more and better service for the whole Rio Grande Valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Nico. We've learned a lot, as we always do when we come over to see you. Thank you very much for today's interview.
Thank you for being here.